Jim Krenn, No Restrictions, with John Vento, Jim Patulski, and we have a special show for you today. If you're into movies, this is your show. The Academy Awards are upon us. March 10th, just coming around the corner there, and yeah, the nomination just came out, and we got my buddy Will Ashton as a special guest on the show. And Will's been on my podcast before and other podcasts, and he is one of the most knowledgeable people in movies that I have ever witnessed. And he's a wonderful journalist, also just a writer, just in general, not just about movies, but just a really talented writer. And he's been published, and Post Gazette, Trib, and all that stuff, all the major publications. You can get published in this area and national publications. He has a podcast also. We'll talk to him about that. And Jim Patulski even put some paperwork and put the nominations on.
Jim's really an organized guy.
Jimmy got it all down for us. Got the nominations here for the Academy because, it's not like we have them off the top of our head.
No, but between Jim and Will, I think we're stepping it up big time here today, Jim.
Absolutely. Will came out, too, to the studio. Yeah. Will Ashton.
Handsome.
Hey.
Will Ashton.
How you doing, man?
Journalist, podcaster, movie expert.
Movie expert. Wow,
I like that. Put that on your card.
Okay, movie expert. Yeah, it's a little flattering. I mean, but I appreciate it. It's very sweet.
Journalist, podcaster, movie expert. All three should be on.
And sharp dresser. We're going to get a photo today
yes.
and post it.
Yeah.
Good looking dude.
Oh, man.
John's been working on his hair. That's why he wants a photo.
Yeah.
Your hair is poofing nice.
You like it?
Yeah,
I've been using more conditioner.
You got lift.
Yeah, I mean, for an old guy, not bad. It's real too, Jim.
I
mean,
know
you can
real.
touch it later if you want.
No, I know it's real.
Okay, it's all there.
No.
You do okay too.
You know what? I got a good hair deal.
Yeah.
I can't, there's things, everybody gets different things.
Yeah.
I got a decent hair deal.
Well,
I still have it.
My cousin Phil Vento likes to say he's a fine bass player.
Yeah.
And he says in our family, I have all the hair and he has all the talents.
I like that. Okay.
I don't like it.
That's kind of funny, actually.
That's what he says.
I'm a little, got a little, chest cold or whatever. So forgive me, everyone, if you hear me, clear my throat or whatever. It's weird, man. If you have a chest cold and you're in line in the supermarket,
yeah.
you get this. It's like getting a scarlet letter put on you, man.
Yeah.
They're like, get him out of here now. Throw him in the pit. But the others.
Yeah. Like nowadays, it's more socially acceptable to fart in front of somebody than the cough.
Than a cough.
You know what I mean? Because
That's funny.
Right.
I can't catch none from a fart.
No, that's funny.
Because everyone farts, but if you cough, what do you got?
Oh yeah,
this
like
is so
Jim said,
true.
you're going to the pit.
This is so
rot in hell for coughing.
That's so true. I'm gonna plug some things up before we get moving here. And get in the movies here, but I have a show at the Indiana Theater, which is kind of cool, in Indiana, PA, where I went to college. IUP, February 17th, 8 o'clock.
Have you been there before?
First time performing at this
they've
theater.
done a nice job out there.
I haven't been back up to IUP in about 8 years.
Wow.
It was nice. They gave me an award about 8 years ago, which is cool because it was some kind of outstanding alumni award, which was a great honor. It's a great university. Been there over 100 years, but I somehow graduated. Miracle, I graduated. But I remember thinking, I did graduate, that's for sure. But I'm thinking, did they even check my grades? Am I up here? Because what am I doing up here? But anyway.
Well, the theater, it's completely volunteer. Mm-hmm. They brought this thing back to life. It was a church for these many years. I mean, a church services.
Right.
And they're working real hard to try to revitalize it. And
right on Philly Street.
We did a gig there last fall. It was fantastic. We brought the Needs Hotel Band up there.
I can't, February 17th. Get your tickets, come on out and check out the show. Actually, I'm in 2 movies coming out this year. Unsinkable and The Great One, both by director Cody Hartman. And Cody Hartman and Brian Hartman did Unsinkable, and I'm lucky enough to have a role in there. Not speaking, lines cut, but still.
You're there.
I actually am in like 40% of the movie because I get to sit next to Cotter Smith, the lead.
Wow.
So the camera keeps coming in on me. So
he's brilliant.
He is amazing.
He's amazing.
And the funny thing was, we were filming day after day for 10 hours, and I'm the lawyer. He's a senator, and I'm a lawyer. I'm sitting next to him. My face expressions. There's no category in Academy Awards for face expressions.
No, there's not.
But there should be. I might get a shot. But anyway, that's all I got is face expressions in this one. But anyway, I'll go over my expressions later for you.
Okay.
But I'm watching him do take after take. I'm like, man, who is this guy? He's amazing. I didn't know who he was till after. We're talking. Here, he's in every show I love. He's in every show. He's in The Americans for like 6 or 8 episodes. He plays like the head of the FBI or something. He's played in every X-Men. I don't know. Just name it. He's been in every movie.
Well, he's an adopted Pittsburgher now. Doesn't he live in Regent Square?
I believe.
I know
so.
he did.
I believe
for years.
So. He's got the coolest life, though, man. We were at the premiere for the Three Rivers Arts Film Festival. Had it as the opening film, and I was there, and you know, it's like, hey Jimmy, what are you up to this weekend? I don't know. I'm going down Oakmont Bakery, get some baked goods Saturday. Maybe I got a strip Sunday, maybe. And he's like, Cotter, what are you doing? Well, I have my actor's workshop in London I'm taking off for.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to say that.
He's really respected.
I'd love to say I'm going to my actor's workshop in McKeesport. I'll be out there a weekend. But I didn't say that. But anyway, so the great one, I have about 10 lines, 12 lines in it. It was written by a great guy, Russ Babine, who passed away. Wonderful friend. Great. His film was his passion. And it's going to see the light of day because of Unsinkable getting noticed. And this movie, The Great One, is a very warm, wonderful film about Clemente, about two kids who follow Clemente through his life. And it's wonderful. Russ, this was his baby. Like I say, unfortunately, untimely passed away. He's one of the nicest human beings you can meet. So I'm so happy for his family that this movie is going to be made. It was finished. They actually got the editing, and it's coming out in post-production now, so that's going to come out. So we got 2 movies coming out.
When do you think we'll see the Clemente one?
Hopefully in the fall, maybe late summer.
No, is it similar to Chasing 3000? Because that didn't do much for me.
No, this has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
And I think Major League Baseball.
Did you see that one?
Chasing 3000? I can't say I have. Is that?
Oh no, this isn't really. This isn't about the baseball aspect. This is about 2 kids grew up in Pittsburgh, and people forget when you in that era. You know, the Steelers weren't yet the Steelers in the 60s. You know, until the 70s. And all we had was the Pirates.
That's right, and we had great players.
Yes. Now you have Mazeroski hits the home run, and you know, the city, this is we're having tough times. Just like the Steelers pulled us through from the 70s, the Pirates were there and you know, for our morale and boost. And then here comes this player, Roberto Clemente, this guy who can do it all. I mean, he was amazing.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine. He's can hit for power, speed. He was just, you know, he was the Patrick Mahomes of baseball, if you're young enough to listen,
was.
In those days. And so anyway, these 2 kids in Pittsburgh, they grew up as best close friends, and a guy and a girl, little girl, and they're little. And so the movie's about them growing up in their bond connection with Clemente. I don't want to give too much away, but you have to see it. But it really is good, man. It's well done.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that. And what's are you allowed to say like what your role is in that one? Or?
Yeah, I play Uncle Frank.
Okay, cool.
He's like an alcoholic.
That'll be your new nickname.
Typecasting.
Okay,
cool.
I was going to
typecasting.
Yeah.
What was your preparation for that role?
Oh, I had to go. Well, at the time, Needs Bar was open, so I did a lot of Needs Bar research.
Okay. By the way, it's official. Needs has been sold.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that good? New news for Jim.
Yeah, it is. It is good news.
Traditionally, one of the great bars in history of Pittsburgh.
Really is.
And, you know, Jim Need, the nicest human being we know.
Yep.
As we talk about him a lot. And, before we get moving with the show and Academy Awards, I wanted to thank everyone for listening to the show. You know, through the years, you've made my career out there. If you're listening, you made my career. You want to feel supported me my entire career. And I've had many great co-hosts and people on the show and guests, and you know, real honored that became part of the show, part of my life. And that John is lucky, and I'm lucky enough to have John now and Jim, and we want to make Will regular on the show. So it's kind of cool, but I just want to give a shout out to the people listening. And John mentioned there's someone he knows that listens to this show, and I just want to give her a shout out and thank her.
Can we do that?
Yeah, please.
That's my girl Shelly at Huntington Bank in Monroeville.
There you go.
She's a huge fan of yours, Jim.
That's
she
awesome.
just celebrated her 50th birthday, which she's a bit upset about.
Aww,
and I told her to make her feel better about this 50 number.
50's the new 30.
That
Come
Jim
on.
Krenn and I are going to take her to lunch.
Absolutely.
So we're going to set that up.
Okay.
So big shout out to Shelly. Huntington Bank in Monroeville.
And also, anytime you want, Shell, you could come hang out and watch us and come on the podcast
come to
with
the
us.
podcast. That'd be cool.
You can join in if you want even.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's dynamite. She's a great person, a great mom, a great wife, has a beautiful family. So
Happy birthday, Shell.
yep.
All right. Can't wait for lunch. Looking forward. And Will Ashton here. Like I said, I've known Will, been watching him grow and just become really, I think he's very talented.
Thank you.
And, he's guy gets it. This is, you want to do this business, you have to do a little of everything, really, to make a living at it. And he's doing that. He's growing in different things, from podcasting to writing, and PR, all the different aspects he's starting to get into and figure this out. And now we're lucky to have him as a regular. Like I said, I want to bring him on as a regular for our movies and entertainment expert. And of course, Academy Awards, man. This is the big nominations. March 10th is the awards around the corner, and everyone listening, our movie buffs, I'm sure, in a way, like all of us, we can't help but be movie buffs now because we have streaming. We have all these quality movies just at our fingertips now, where we didn't before.
Yeah.
So you have people who weren't movie buffs are becoming movie buffs, right?
Absolutely.
In TV series are better and better. The writing. So anyway, this year's Academy Awards. Some interesting nominations. We'll start. We'll go through the meat ones. We'll go through the main ones. We'll do.
Okay,
we won't go into the original makeup and hairstyling. Although
we would have
wondering who's going to win that. But anyway, all right. Let's start with Will. Welcome to the show. First off,
thank you.
Let's start with how about actor in a leading role?
All right,
that's the way they started. Nominees: Bradley Cooper, Maestro. What's your vibe on that?
It's good. Yeah, I mean, I was actually talking about with producer Jim, the guy across from me over here. It's really just a good showcase for Bradley Cooper because he directed the movie as well, and it's like a passion project of his. He's been trying to get it off the ground, I think, for like 7 years now, and he went through all this intensive training with composers and all this stuff. And I will say, I mean, it's not my absolute favorite performance of his, just because I think he's been doing some really stellar work. He did the Star is Born remake a few years ago. He directed that and wrote it as well, in addition to starring it. I think this is really, a great showcase for him as a director. His capability to, because this is not a traditional music biopic. It's a little bit more segmented. It's fragmented in its structure, and his style, it kind of goes from black and white to in color. It's all shot on film. It's kind of in the 4:3 boxed frame, and his just awareness of, like I said, blocking and framing and using the performances and telling the story in a way that you get the scope of it, but don't hear all the details. And it's not like a Wikipedia page where it's just like, and then this happened, and this happened, and this happened.
Right.
It's really, he's really coming into his own, I think, as a filmmaker and as an actor. And even though I don't think I'd pick him for this award, I think he's going to win sooner as opposed to later.
Do you think these guys like Bradley Cooper, it's almost like they should have been nominated before for certain movies? Like, for instance, when he did a movie, there's an American Hero.
American Sniper, yeah.
Yeah, American Sniper. This guy was an amazing guy.
He's great in that,
The book on this guy, Chris Kyle, and I believe his name. But my point is, Bradley Cooper, I didn't know it was him the first third of the movie. I'm watching, I'm going, guy looks familiar, because he had beefed up, and had that accent and holding like a bit of a Texas drawl. And I'm like, my God, how do you not get nominated even? And I'm thinking about it. When you're in a movie like The Hangover and you make $1 billion and 90 sequels in comedy, you kind of get labeled a little bit. And I think from the votes, and it seems that way anyway. Now, after A Star is Born, I think he kind of I think in American Sniper also. They had to give him props for that.
Silver Lining?
Yes, yeah.
Silver Linings Playbook
This
also.
guy can play anything.
Yeah, he
can be anybody.
But he didn't get. I don't think he's got his due until now.
Because I think he's
Stars Born.
I think he's now been nominated like 8 or 9 times, and he's had a pretty amazing career trajectory. Because, like you said, like he kind of started off like doing more kind of technical, like smaller roles in like Alias, and like you can like watch. There's like a Inside the Actor Studio with Sean Penn where he's like in the audience asking a question, like real small potato kind of stuff. And then he did, like you said, The Hangover. Before that, he was in like Wedding Crashers and like a few other like supporting roles, and then he just kind of excelled because he kept being like, oh, now he's gonna try to do something serious with Silver Linings Playbook, and he does well with that. Then he does American Sniper, and it's like, can he pull off a purely dramatic role? He does, and then now it's like, oh, can he direct? And he does, and now he's like, yeah, just keeps improving and proving himself. And
you think the Academy Awards were like a body of work? Because it's kind of like Harry's and Maestro. Is this his best role?
I don't think this is his best role, but I think, like I said, I think he's on his way. He's going to get it. I mean, sometimes I wonder, like, there's always, like, you know, like when Al Pacino finally won for, like, Scent of a Woman, it's like, is that his best performance? No, but it's like,
right.
Because he, you know, was nominated, like, all these times. Right, yeah. So it might happen that way. I don't know, but he'll win eventually. I don't think it's
Pacino's first.
That was the only time he's won an Oscar is Scent of a Woman. Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah,
Al Pacino. First and only.
Yeah, first and only, yeah.
I know.
That is shocking
one of the
to me.
greatest actors of all time.
But yeah, like not The Godfather, not Serpico, not anything else. It's just that one.
He gets it from that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh? How about
it's you know what? It's
politics. Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
I got my award. I stared at every day. I don't know. A lot of the movies, some of the movies I did see, I'm not an aficionado, and if it doesn't have Jason Statham in it, I don't watch it. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. I do want to see, did you see The Beekeeper yet?
I just saw it, and I like it a lot. I was walking around. I think I'm going to shave my head, except I look
the
like
Beekeeper.
Curly. I look like Curly from the Three Stooges. Well, yes, Jason Statham. He's a beekeeper. There always are.
Yeah.
They're always like something. You know, you could take his shirt off and beat up 10 guys.
Sure, yeah.
And they go, "Who are you?" I'm the beekeeper. Like that's it.
Yeah.
You got to have a job like that, right? You know.
I still need to see that one. I heard it's a lot of fun.
I just saw it.
It's
well worth every penny.
Oh yeah, I've heard it's fun. Yeah.
If you're ready to vent, you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. It's a revenge one.
Yeah, I always love vigilante stuff. So,
yeah, he's like a watchdog kind of thing.
Is this streaming?
It is.
I feel so incompetent at this podcast.
Was it streaming or was it on demand? I can't remember. I think I bought
is it on demand?
I think I rented it.
Okay. Yeah.
I rented it.
I'm not up on this stuff. I apologize.
Oh, it's okay.
No, you're good.
That's what we're here for.
I did see Maestro, which I loved.
If you're not
okay,
up,
it's a good one.
We're here. That's what we're here
right,
for.
Thank you for your support, Jim.
Everybody's got our own thing.
Okay.
Well, you know what's weird for me is movies to rent when they first come out from the theater, like 1999, and I remember that first time seeing that like a couple of years ago. I was like, "What is this?" But we're kind of. Then all of a sudden, what happens? We get adjusted to it, and like, all right, well. You start thinking, well, if I go to the movies, you know, my girlfriend's got the cost.
It's it's more than that.
Yeah, it's more than so. You popcorn. I don't know. You start reasoning it away.
Sure, yeah.
And you end up doing it. But anyway, Beekeeper, definitely. All right, back to
the Oscar movie.
Acting lead role. If I say it wrong, this guy is
Colman Domingo.
Colman Domingo and Rustin. Is that?
That was filmed here. It was a Pittsburgh production. It's another biopic. It's a civil rights activist from the 60s who worked with Martin Luther King. It's a Netflix film. I wasn't crazy about it's a little stilted, the production of it, unfortunately.
What do you mean stilted? What's that mean?
Like it feels a little, it's a little, especially compared to something like Maestro, it's a little bit more, like it doesn't, it feels a little like TV movie. Like it doesn't have like the cinematic
depth
zest. But he's good. I mean, Colman Domingo is always, he's someone who has, kind of similar like Bradley Cooper years before. Like he's been proving his, he's been, making a great impression.
His body of work.
Yeah, he's doing really well. And this is, I'm just happy he got nominated because he's been doing a lot of really great work. He has a really, really fun performance in this movie called Zola from a few years ago.
Okay.
He's a very charismatic, very fun actor. This is maybe the one performance of his I felt was very much like I was watching performance in a way that his other performances feel more like natural and ingrained to it. Which might be why he got like this. It's a little bit more of a showcase for him, but it is like it doesn't feel like his best work, but he's good. And I'm always just happy to see, Pittsburgh in movies. So
I love when a Pittsburgh movie too, because I love going to theaters and because you hear someone in the background, there's any kind of car scene. You can't make a left in Armstrong Tunnel and head up on Penn Avenue. You can't do it.
Right.
I got to hear that constantly, but anyway, I love it. Paul Giamatti and the Holdovers. I love Giamatti. I haven't, you see him in, Billionaires and different things here and there, but this is his role, huh?
That's my
Holdovers.
This is I
saw The Holdover. I love him.
Yeah,
I think he's one of the most gifted actors that we've had.
I didn't see The Holdovers yet, so you love it. It's good.
It's really,
you like Will.
I really liked it. And I mean, I don't want to play my hand too early because I do really like the performance that we'll talk about after this. But
Okay.
Paul Giamatti is probably my pick, and he might win.
Really?
It's between like this one and the next one.
Has
think.
he won before?
No, this will be his first. He's only been nominated one other time, which was for Cinderella Man.
Oh, was it Cinderella Man?
Yeah. He wasn't.
Okay.
It's people often think he was justifiably think he was nominated for Sideways, but he was snubbed. So
He was amazing in Sideways.
he's great in Sideways. Yeah, he's always great. I mean,
I fell in love with him with John Adams.
Oh yeah, I still need to watch it. I've heard he's really, really good. I
will not drink the Merlot. I will not drink the Merlot.
But no, it's such a not only a great physical performance, but just he really captures the warmth and the emotionality of this character really well. And it's kind of similar to the characters of the film in that like it's a movie that as you're watching it only gets better as it goes along. Like it gets better as you get to be more endeared with the characters.
That's a great way to put it.
So it starts slow in a way because you get to know the characters.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean you kind of have to.
Know them you're in.
Yeah, you kind of have to like endear to them, and you have to kind of like nestle up to them. And the the second lead actor, Dominic Sess, I believe his name is. He's a CMU alum. Or actually, I don't think he graduated yet. Yeah, so
real Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he's a real
You'll
Pittsburgh.
enjoy it, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's a really. I think
it's
you'll.
good.
It's really up your alley. I think you'll like.
Yeah,
it.
I love Giamatti. And the next movie I did see this guy, and I say his name wrong. How's his first?
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy is in Oppenheimer, and have you seen it?
Yeah, Jim
it's
and I
phenomenal.
Went to see it.
It's amazing.
Jimmy saw it? Incredible film.
It really is. You know, I'm a history buff and all that in World War II. It's just fascinating to watch what this guy had to go through.
It's phenomenal.
And the actor really brought us with him in that inner. He had that inner fight going on constantly. That inner burn that actor has, right? Well,
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, this is of the 5 nominated performances, probably the most intuitive. I guess it's the one that's like you have to like. There's so much going on, but it's restrained in a really good way. Like it's like a ticking clock is always going on in his brain, and you just have to like you see the wires going, but it's not like as grandiose as some of the other films that typically get or performances that typically get nominated. And it's just a really. I mean, he carries the movie, and
is he your pick, Will?
It's between him and Paul Giamatti for me. I'm leaning towards Paul Giamatti just because I just really love the holdovers as well, and I think like you said, I think it's his due, and I think Cillian Murphy still has I mean I think Paul Giamatti has great stuff coming up as well, but I think Cillian Murphy will only continue to excel, and I think he's going to open a lot of really great opportunities for him.
He's an interesting look.
Yeah.
Everything about it's intense.
But yeah, it's just such a controlled and nuanced performance that I think really shines, and I always like it when the Academy gives its due to performances like that because I always feel like the more melodramatic performances sometimes get more kind of nominated because like the more you act, the more I know you're giving a performance.
Right.
And this is it's just a great performance.
But the interesting thing is Oppenheimer, I think surprisingly made a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is that like
it's a long movie, but it was great.
I mean, a lot of money.
Yeah,
right?
3-hour movie about the guy who made the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
And half of it's like a courtroom drama. It made nearly $1 billion, and that's amazing. I mean,
it is, right?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be like Avatar or something.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Like Oppenheimer is kind of cool. Very interesting. Now, the last guy in this category, actor in leading role, best actor, is Jeffrey Wright. I haven't seen American Fiction. What's your play on that?
American Fiction is a film that it's like 2 movies at once. It's like a social satire and a family drama.
Okay.
And I went into it for the social satire because I feel like it has a really fun premise, which is basically like, what if a guy who is kind of fed up with the publishing industry and the ways that African American writers get marginalized? What if he like leaned into it as a joke and they actually turned it into a best-selling novel?
Okay.
But like the satire of it, it's from a book from the early 2000s. It felt a little outdated to me because I think some of the satire just like there's no like awareness of like social media presence. There's like one clear example of like how I think and I can't give away because of spoilers, but like there's an example of how like the satire, I feel like there's a more biting film that constantly kind of shows its teeth but never gets the bite. It's just like but Jeffrey Wright really carries it, and he's just always amazing. Like he gives a really great performance in this, and it's just nice to see him in a leading role because I often feel like he's often more like like in the Batman he's like Commissioner Gordon or or like Westworld or whatever. He's like kind of more supporting, but he's always doing great work, and it's just nice to see him get a showcase and finally get nominated.
It is doing it. It says 5 interesting nominees, and so it looks like Giamatti and Cillian Murphy. They're probably, I guess, are they the odds favorites, I guess, to win it, or does Bradley Cooper have a shot? I guess he has a chance, you said earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think of the nominees, it's probably initially it was between Bradley Cooper and Cillian Murphy, and now Paul Giamatti's kind of edging his way in there. So, yeah, it's looking like at the moment Giamatti, but it's still a month away, so anything could change.
Can happen. Yeah, well, let's go to the Best Actress, which isn't Meryl Streep amazingly this time for 1 year off. She'll be next year.
There you go.
So this I happen to see this movie, John. It's about a distance swimmer, and it took me again, like the Bradley Cooper movie, American Sniper, a third of the movie to figure out. So I just kind of was just turned it on. I was watching it. It looked interesting. I thought. And I go, wait, these women are very familiar. And the first one, the actress Annette Bening for Naiad, and this woman named Naiad. I can't remember her first name. Diane Naiad. She had the goal. I guess you explain. Well, what?
She has like a 30+ year ambition of swimming from I think Cuba to Florida, if I remember correctly. Or maybe I may be misremembering that. I apologize.
Something
but
like that, whatever.
But it's like this incredible long distance journey, and she's like early 60s, and like everyone's kind of dismissive and believes that she can't do it. It's it's been negated as far as whether it's true or not, because I don't know if you've read. There's been some controversy about how truthful the story is.
Oh, I was at this party. I was honored at this party with these other people for something, and one of the people there was a swimmer, like her, that has done English Channel, things like that.
Okay,
and he said no. He said, Jim. So he talked about the movie because this has really set our sport back.
That's what I've heard.
A lot of this doesn't add up, and there's certain things that I guess he said that she did that had certain instrumentation, I guess, because you can get bitten by or hit by these jellyfish or something. Certain kind of gel, not regular, but like painful repeatedly as you're swimming through them, and so she had to get some kind of
face mask,
right? And then he said that kind of doesn't count, and I guess he's saying things there's some controversy.
There's like some embellishments in at least her story, and like because it's based on her book, it's like one of those things where the truthfulness of the film, and obviously anytime a movie's based on
what time frame are we talking about? What years?
This takes place in 2013.
Yeah, not long.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't that long ago.
No.
Yeah.
No,
so wouldn't we have documentation if she did it or not? It's how she did it. Is that the issue?
I mean, there was some, because there's a big article I will reference. De Factor, I think it had like a whole breakdown of like talking to like there's some guy out there who's like made it his life mission to like disprove Naiad. I don't know.
Yeah, people are really in it. I'm telling you, you should have seen the passion in this guy's face. I was talking to him. He was really upset.
But apparently there's been some arguments about like, because they always have like a boat that trails the swimmer in like a case like they need like food or water or whatever. But apparently there's been some negation about like how much she did on her own and how much she like held on to the boat, and like they did some and like because there were some people who were saying that like the speed in which she did it as opposed to the current was like too fast for someone who was just swimming on their own. And so there's just been, and that's why I think she's had a hard time. The actual Diane Naiad's had a hard time authenticating for like reports like the story. But
how long did the movie say it took her? Like 5 days, 6 days?
I can't remember exactly.
It was like it was like a week or so. Yeah,
it was a week that she's in the water.
But she's swimming, man. You got a boat next to you, and you got someone coaching you, and which is Jodie Foster plays the coach, and she's actually nominated for supporting.
So wait,
actress.
she's not allowed to get out and just rest in the boat for a little while?
No.
You got to stay in the water the whole time.
You got to eat in the water. They got the coach kind of puts food in your mouth and stuff.
Oh my goodness!
You have like
for a week.
Yeah.
So where does she sleep in the water?
Well, she doesn't really sleep.
You don't really sleep.
You just keep swimming. It'd be like if we went across the Allegheny River, John. You'd have to feed me.
I wouldn't be able to cross the Allegheny River.
No, I would be the swimmer. You'd be in the boat. You'd feed me.
I'd be in the boat.
You'd have to feed me sandwiches.
Wow. No, I'll feed you Yinzer dogs.
Yeah, it's true. Or Yinzer dogs, exactly.
Or the pierogi nuggets.
Pierogi bites.
Funnel you some like Permani sandwiches.
There you go.
Exactly. But so, yeah, I mean, it is.
You like the movie? Did you like
whether
it?
she did it or not, officially, it's a pretty amazing thing she did. I think. I don't know. Anybody who sets a goal and it's painful and
it's an interesting
mind, you do it.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting story. It kind of reminds me, like a few years ago, they finally made an adaptation of A Million Little Pieces, that like controversial story that like was on the Oprah bestseller list, and like it was found out to be at least partially fabricated, and there was a whole controversy around it. And they made like a straight adaptation of the film. Yeah, and it was like, well, why don't you just make a story about like the controversy around the story, like do like a half adaptation, half like explore that. 'Cause that's a more like interesting thing. Right. And I kind of felt like while I was watching this and knowing like all of the negated or controversy around it, it kind of felt like the film didn't really explore as much, I feel like, the interesting angles of Naiad, which is that she's this fairly complicated woman that, like, you know, like you said, in the swimming community, there's like all this controversy. And like even in this like pretty well like puffed up story, like the movie even seems to acknowledge like, yeah, she's like kind of a narcissist and like she's not really great to her friends and like she kind of puts herself first and all this stuff.
Right. She wasn't really likable.
Right. So I think that I don't know. Yeah, I feel like
I like Annette Bening. She's
she's good. I mean,
she's cool.
Yeah, she's good.
She's
yeah,
the character is kind of like you know, like Bill said, puts
Where
herself
did you see?
first.
Is it at the theater or is it streaming?
I saw it at home again.
Yeah,
either on demand or streaming. I get most of my on demand streaming. Yeah,
and I will say, I mean, to the film's benefit, like they do show like a lot, like we were talking about, like the complexities of having to do this. Like you see, like the struggles in her like failed attempts and stuff, and it's made by. I forget the filmmaker's name, but they made the documentary Free Solo a few years ago, and you like see like a mix of like documentary and actual like the actual footage and like dramatized footage, and it's like you really kind of feel the intensity of a goal like this one.
Right.
I like when they integrate real footage.
Sure.
No, the next best actress, I maybe you could bring me back in on this movie, but you know, I'm watching on the trailer on demand, and I'm like. Or streaming this movie. That's Martin Scorsese, who I love, Scorsese, but you know, I don't know, I just couldn't get in on this. I'm not sure if I can. I guess I'll try it if Will can sell me on it. Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon. It just seems so sad and so dark.
It's a dark story, and it's a long film. It's like
we watched it
3.5 hours.
Yeah, I watched it.
What'd you think of it?
You know, Jim and I talked about it afterwards. I thought it was way too long. It didn't need to be that long.
Sad and dark.
It was real sad. And
that's what I like.
I thought it was very well done. You know, Leonardo's the best of the best, in my opinion.
They're great actors, yeah.
And it was nice to see De Niro play maybe somebody a little different.
Sure.
Because he always plays the same guy.
The same gangster.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's the two Scorsese heavyweights acting together, you know, De Niro and DiCaprio.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done. I thought the story was great. I thought the texture of the scenery was captured beautifully, and I enjoyed it. It was a little long, but I thought it was really. I did. I liked it a lot.
It's not enough for me. I'm still.
Yeah.
Jason Statham, beat you.
You're on the
beach jar of honey.
Well, you liked. I was gonna say you liked The Irishman, right?
I love The Irishman.
Oh, I've seen The Irishman many times.
I was gonna say it's in a similar vein to The Irishman in the sense that like I feel like Scorsese, now that he's an octogenarian, he's like in his 80s, and he's I think a lot more thoughtful about like what he's doing. Not that he wasn't before, but like before, like there was like a very like Goodfellas was kind of the standard of like this is what a Scorsese film. It's fast edits and like music cues and like all these things and like
little violence, little that,
And The Irishman and Killers of the Flower Moon for me feel like the extension of that type of film. It's a little more drawn out, and you see more of the weighted consequences of this decision, because in this movie Scorsese and DiCaprio, who produced the film as well, met with the Osage community, and they really valued like their input as far as the story goes. So it's as much about the tragedy of what happens to the Osage County or community as it is to like this sort of story of corruption and greed. And you see, I think, like similar to The Irishman, in that like you see sort of like the futility of like the gangster life, and it's not always like this whiz bang, like it's like more weighted and tragic. You see like a very Scorsese-esque like rise and fall story, but you see in a way it doesn't diminish, I think, the entertainment value, just the scope and scale and the sadness, and also the tragedy that comes with like people who get so caught up in their own personal greed that they don't see the consequences of their actions. And
you got me back in, Will. Yeah. I'm back in. Maybe I'll give it a try.
John, so Jim, you've not seen it?
I saw the previews. It looks so sad and depressing. And
it's dark.
I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that for 3 hours myself. Yeah. But if it's like kind of like got that vibe of The Irishman, a little bit of story like that, I'll give it a chance. And I'm going to put these three actors together so we can. I want to get the best pictures for us.
Okay.
But best actress, let's say Sandra Hüller.
Yeah.
Hüller in Anatomy of a Fall, which I saw a trailer, looked interesting. Carey Mulligan, Maestro, Emma Stone, Poor Things. Anatomy of a Fall. What an interesting.
Oh yeah.
Plot. I mean, I want to see this. The trailer has me in.
I really like Anatomy of a Fall. It won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, or Cannes Film Festival, I think it's actually pronounced. Which is like the top film festival. It's like Best Picture at the Best Film Festival.
Is it Cannes or Cannes? Do we know?
I think it's Cannes, but I always say Cannes.
Everyone says Cannes. I heard both.
Yeah, right? I think it's actually Cannes.
Cannes, though.
But every time I say Cannes, because it's like a French film festival, I feel like a Yinzer. I'm like, at the Cannes Film Festival. It's just like...
Kinda Cannes. Only best Cannes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really good movie. It's a murder mystery. It's about a woman who her husband falls off of this kind of roof attic scope,
and
like a
they
window.
Think she did it, maybe, right?
And it's unclear if she did or didn't do it. But the film is more kind of preoccupied in not so much like whether or not she did it, but in like kind of like knowing the like ways that people kind of set sort of expectations, and like in the case of like a story like this, we see like a lot of like like celebrity kind of bows, because they're both like famous writers,
right? And
like the way that like the media or like public perception can kind of twist the story and like kind of form their own conclusions before they really see the scope of what happens. And Sandra Hüller is great in it. I mean, she's an actress, German actress, that she did this film in 2016 that I love called Tony Erdmann. That was supposed to get an American remake with Jack Nicholson, but I think that fell through. But it's just she's really great, very natural, but also very emotionally powerful actress, and I think she does some great work in this movie. And
Anatomy of a Fall. So Carey Mulligan, Maestro, that, and then we'll go to Emma. So
yeah,
Carey Mulligan. This must be an amazing movie. Cooper in.
Yeah, she's good.
Leads.
Again, I think ultimately Maestro, I think, is Bradley Cooper's showcase. I think she's good, but I think of the nominees, I don't know. I don't think she...
Not the strongest?
Yeah, I don't think I'd give her the award, but she's good.
Okay. How about Emma Stone?
Emma Stone, Poor Things is... it's such a fun movie. It's like basically a horny version of Frankenstein.
Okay.
It's basically a horny version?
Yeah, a horny version of Frankenstein.
Explain that.
So it's Willem Dafoe reincarnates a woman who, like a 20-something woman who was pregnant with a child. She like takes her life, but like he takes the corpse just before like the body could fully, I don't know, decompress. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But he takes the brain of the baby and puts it into the woman's brain. So like you're watching like Emma Stone kind of like relearning how to like be a person, and like kind of taking in life and having a kind of acute perspective of what femininity is in this kind of cyberpunk Victorian era. And yeah, it's also with Mark Ruffalo, who's in it, and he's like this well-to-do sort of bohemian guy who like thinks he can kind of like live a more like spontaneous life, but like she just is like so like coming into her own sexually and like overwhelming to him that he just goes insane trying to like be in a relationship with her. And it's a really great showcase for Emma Stone.
So you like it?
It's good. Yeah,
I like to see him. I like to see Emma Stone win just because her career
she's
is
great.
From but she's from like the Easy 8 or
sure, yeah,
House
similar.
Bunny, all these,
kind of
all of a sudden she's in Academy Award kind of movies too.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it, but it's kind of interesting to compare her to like Bradley Cooper in that like she was also like like in Superbad and like these supporting comedic roles, and then she got in like La La Land, won Oscar, and like did The Favorite, right? And yeah, like she's like doing more dramatic stuff as well. But yeah, it's
kind of cool to see someone grow like that.
Yeah,
or just make those jumps.
Right.
I think she's funny.
Yeah, she's really good, and she wins. It's well deserved. I feel like if of the two, I think I might pick Lily Gladstone just because it's such an intuitive, like very nuanced performance.
Yeah,
and the research that she did to like channel this very like stoic but emotionally conflicted character is just really, really amazing. I would be happy if Emma Stone won. It's really neck and neck between her and Lily Gladstone at the moment. But
Annette Bening, no.
It doesn't seem like Annette Bening's going to win. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of buzz for her. I feel like because Jodie Foster is also nominated for that film. It seemed like she has a little bit more for
better chance maybe.
Better chance for supporting actress. Yeah, she's really good in that. But yeah, it seems like it's between. I mean, Emma Stone is a flashier performance, so it's very likely that could win, and it's also very good, like I said. But I don't know. I'm really torn between those two. I feel like my gut says Gladstone for who I'd pick, but if Emma Stone won, I'd be more than happy with that.
All right, so let's go to Best Picture.
All right.
We good, guys. And now some of the we talked already about, so we can go to the ones we didn't talk about. So here's the nominees for Best Film, Best Picture of the year: American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of a Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest. So we talked about a lot of these movies because these great actors are in these movies. That's why they're huge movies. Ryan Reynolds gets supporting role, I think, for male supporting role nomination. But anyway,
you
Barbie,
mean Ryan Gosling?
I want to talk about Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
I was getting Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, fair enough.
Two Ryans. Barbie is nominated in Best Picture, which I like. I thought it was a cool movie. And
I
nice
like it.
Message, and all that. But are you surprised it got an Academy Award?
No, just considering that, like, with Barbenheimer and like it was such a cultural event, and it is the film of 2023 in the sense that it made $1 billion. Everyone loves it. Pop
culture film of the year.
But like, I mean, it is wild if you like think back on it, as far as like people are like very impassioned about Barbie and like how does not get Best Director, how does not get Best Actress, and I'm not negating that. I just think it's wild in like the perspective of like people are so impassioned about a Barbie movie like adaptation, and I think that just speaks to the quality of the film. That like
You said Barbenheimer. Is that like a thing?
Oh, Barbenheimer, yeah. Well, Barbie and Oppenheimer came out the same day.
It could be a sequel to Barbie.
They came out the same day.
Yeah, so Barbie and Oppenheimer came out the same day. They were supposed to, I think, kind of like bump against each other, but like people were so infatuated with the kind of yin and yang, like, like the total opposites of it, that they made it like a double feature. And so both movies became like super... super financially successful because people just went to see him like on date night, like Oppenheimer for the guy, Barbie for the girl. I mean, yeah,
serious movie, fun movie.
Yeah.
What's like said we talked about a lot of these movies, but one of the Zone of Interest. What's that all about?
That one.
Yeah. So Zone of Interest is the new film from Jonathan Glazer, and it's a fascinating film because it's a World War II movie. But it doesn't show the war. It doesn't show really even the Holocaust in the direct way, like the concentration camp. You're following a family who is living right next to a concentration camp. The father is like one of the high-ranking Nazi generals. But you're seeing like in the background or like right next to it, you see like the concentration camp gates. You see like the smoke plumbing from the wall. You see like the trains coming back. But you're watching... in a very sort of observant way, like the complicity or the banality of evil, in the sense of like how much do people who are not directly involved in the case, like the mother and the children, like they're not directly involved with this, but how complicit or how like much are they influenced by the extent of evil. And it's a really fascinating film. I really like it a lot, but it's one of those movies that kind of similar to Killers of the Flower Moon. It's like it's hard, like if someone wants to have like a nice Saturday and like take away their troubles and like enjoy themselves at the movies, it's a hard movie to be like, oh, Zone of Interest,
yeah.
It's a movie
it's
about
more like if you just want to get into something.
It's really it's really thoughtful. It's really, really fascinating. It's a movie that I think really unsettled me for like a week or more than a week afterwards, and I think it well deserves a nomination. But it's a harder film to sell to like
Mass
someone.
public.
Yeah.
All right, who do you pick? Who does Will Ashton, if you had to vote, who would you choose as best picture?
It's tough because I think this year is just really solid. Like it's like all of these films are good in their own way, but I would say for me it's The Holdovers. I think it's just a full package. It's super funny, it's heartwarming, it's endearing. It feels like a holiday classic in the making, and the performances are just really solid. And I don't know, I just found myself really endeared by it. And as much we didn't get to talk about Past Lives, which I really like.
Oh yeah,
as well.
I'm sorry, I missed that one. Yeah. What's that about?
Past Lives is an A24 film. It's from a first-time filmmaker named Celine Song, and it's about it's like a decade-spanning film about two, like a Asian man, Asian woman who like have like a will they won't they relationship throughout their lives, and she eventually moves to America and marries a writer, and she becomes a writer as well. But then the guy comes back into her life, and he kind of like explores the tension of like, will they get together or like are they destined to be? But they it's not like there's trouble in the marriage. It's like they're very loving, but there's this sort of conflicted sense of like, are they soulmates or are they like supposed to be together in another life? It's really good. It's a smaller film and quieter film than the other films that were nominated, but I really like that one as well. I don't think it's quite Best Picture, and I really like Killers of the Flower Moon and Oppenheimer as well. I think those are just like why you go to the movies. Like Oppenheimer's a film that just like it's the big full picture. Yeah. And I think that's probably going to win. But for me, Holdovers is like the film I find myself. I think I'm going to rewatch and only grow to love more as years go on.
Awesome. Hey, Will, can I ask you a quick question because I know we're winding down here. So somebody like me and my wife, we love movies. We actually have a little movie room at our place with
that's awesome. Yeah,
the screen and the whole bit. 50% of these films that you're talking about, I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
Now the big ones I knew.
Yeah.
Right. So how does somebody find out? I mean, we have all the streaming services, social media. I think we're hip with things. Like, where do they promote these films? Or how can I get more in tune with some of these lesser known films that are up for Academy Awards?
Well, the brand part of me wants to plug my podcast, Cinemaholics.
Go ahead. Please.
I do a weekly podcast with a man from California named Cinemaholics.
Okay.
We just do weekly reviews, kind of like a Siskel and Ebert kind of thing. We just talk about movies and just back and forth. And I will say a less professional setup than this one. This is like the most professional podcast setup I've ever been a part of, because us is just
you can thank our producer,
Jim.
It's a little bit more, because we're like cross country, but it's really fun. I think we really just kind of dive deep into
podcasts.
Yeah.
I mean, do they promote these? Like even the swimming film, I never heard of that, and I love it.
I stumbled on that.
How did you stumble on it?
I just happened to watch a trailer. Well, how I'm finding these movies, most of them for me, and I'll go to the movie theater every once in a while, but the girlfriend likes going to the movie theater, but so I want to go. I haven't gone, but I'm going to get back in the movie theater since our COVID thing and all that. So I'm get back into it again. But I've gotten used to just looking on demand, looking on Netflix, and just kind of seeing what's new out every Tuesday. You get the new movie every Tuesday. You get new movies, and just checking one out, saying that looks kind of interesting. Maybe I'll watch that. And then I don't even think of it as becoming an Academy. Like I didn't think. Then looking back and go, oh yeah, she did deserve a nomination.
Sure, yeah.
She was really great in that, Annette Bening or Jodie Foster. So it's kind of like that. Just kind of stumbled on them. I'm really not,
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. There's always, Rotten Tomatoes, which is just a critic site that tells you like all the, aggregate scores of like the good or bad films coming out. Locally though, there's a site that I've been following that's helped me called Pittsburgh Cinema Planner.
Okay.
And you just sign up for it. It's like a weekly email thing, and they'll tell you locally like when certain movies and tracks. I think all the ones that, because I also work at the with the Culture Trust, the Harris Theater. We show a lot of cool indie stuff. Like we showed Past Lives, we showed Anatomy of a Fall, kind of these smaller movies that are getting acclaim now.
That's great.
But
it's kind of cool that these movies are getting acclaim.
Absolutely.
People are finding these movies. More
so
so now, I think, because of social media and the internet. I think more so now in the streaming than ever. I think you're getting a lot of these movies we've never gotten. This kind of
absolutely
publicity or notoriety. It's kind of cool.
But I think you were even alluding to this earlier, but I think like now especially like people with streaming platforms and social media and what have you have more access to these smaller or more kind of under the radar movies than they ever had before, and that's pretty amazing. You know, like you can just like
it is. It's at our fingertips.
Right. Yeah.
That's why we want. We need you on the show, Wills.
Right.
To help us guide us here, buddy. So you're on. You're in. Oh, I was at. I went to my buddies I grew up with. Went away to this Treasure Lake, my buddy's place, and my boys I grew up with. And my buddy Jeff, he wouldn't stop talking about Godzilla.
Oh, minus one. Yeah.
Godzilla -1.
Oh my God, he was so passionate.
It's so good. Yeah.
It is.
It's really good.
Okay, because Jeff was like, because we had a few pops in us. And he's like, you gotta see. He couldn't stop. I'm leaving. We're gonna see Jeff. Jimmy, promise. I said, okay, man, I'm gonna see this Godzilla. He said it's got a plot. It's interesting. It's incredible. It's after World War II.
Yeah. So it's kind of similar, like you know how Skyfall, the James Bond movie, was it was like a new James Bond film, but it was also like an anniversary kind of thing.
Yeah,
right. It's like this for Godzilla in the sense of like this is the 60th anniversary, 70th anniversary of Godzilla, and it's
70th.
It takes place in
Godzilla's been around. Never nominated. Godzilla.
Right. He got snubbed this year, I think. But
shut out. Yeah.
This takes place in 1954. Kind of near the tail end of the Second World War, and it's basically like either you can call it like Jaws with Godzilla or Hunt for the Red October with Jaws, and that's very character focused. You follow a failed kamikaze pilot who couldn't really perform for his country, and he feels like this weight not only from internal guilt but like from his country about not being able to perform. And as this happens, Godzilla, who's actually like mean and big again, and like not like friendly Godzilla that comes and saves the day from Gamera destroying the planet.
You would not be a popular person who had failed kamikaze pilot in
No,
Japan. You went into a bar, and what do you do? Well, failed
it's like
kamikaze pilot.
It's like that Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. Do you ever see that?
Tell us.
Oh, there's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where Larry and his wife are like talking to like this grandson of a failed kamikaze pilot, and like he's like the wheels are spinning in his head, but he doesn't want to say anything. But eventually, it's just like, well, if he was a kamikaze pilot, wouldn't he be dead? Yeah. And he's like, well, I mean, he didn't. And he like asks, like, yes, very Larry David. It's a great episode if you ever get a chance to check it out.
He's brilliant.
So there you go. So all right. So I have to. Now, wait, I can't get it. I'm looking everywhere for Godzilla -1. Why can't I get it?
Oh, it should be.
Is
I know
it on demand now?
I think it's on demand. I think it's still in theaters.
That's why. Maybe they didn't put it on demand yet, huh?
But yeah, that's a fascinating film because it was in the U.S. It was only supposed to go to I think one theater. And then they changed their mind because it was getting a lot of good buzz. Yeah. And they put it in theaters, and it's like the third highest international film. Like it's the third highest grossing international film in the U.S.
It's supposed to be phenomenal.
It's really good. It's really good.
We got to see it.
All right.
I'm all in. We'll see watching your
Let's
movie.
go together.
Movie theater.
Crack open a beer.
All right. What's up when you're doing your movie theater, you said?
We could do it. We could do it in our little.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I wanted to see. I had some friends together that. They were wrestling fans. Mm-hmm. The story of the wrestlers.
Yeah. Iron Claw. Iron Claw.
Yeah.
And the guys got sick, so it's going to be streaming, I think, in a week.
Yeah.
And we're having an Iron Claw get together in the Vento
nice.
theater room.
It's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah,
great movie.
Of course, you've seen everything. That's what you do.
Yeah, that one's it's like a Greek tragedy in Americana style, where it's like almost like a like Othelian kind of film, but it's like following wrestlers in the 70s. It's
no one could stump Will on movies. He's seen even porn movies. He's seen everything. Hey, name it. He's seen them.
Sure, yeah.
I'm kidding. His dad just fell over.
No, man. Yeah.
No. When you say that, before we go, can I tell you something really funny?
Sure. Okay.
I was dating. This was years ago.
Okay.
Someone that was way too young for me.
Yeah.
And I took her to see Gino Vanelli. As you know, I'm friends with Gino and his gang. And
he's the coolest.
Gino is right.
The man has incredible chest hair. He actually should moose it.
Well, and an incredible voice. So after the show, the guys in the band said, "Hey, John, bring your date and meet us for a drink at the William Penn." And so we meet them after the show, and we're sitting down with the band. Gino was not there yet, thank God. So the Jay Bird Coder, the guitar player for Gino Vanelli, turns to my date and he says, "So, what did you think of the show?" Mm-hmm. She says, "It was great." She said, "Did anyone ever tell you your music sounds like porn music?"
Which is the compliment every musician
right.
get.
And Jay replied, right? "I don't know what kind of porn movies you watch, but I'd like to see them." Sure. Right? I mean, this is some of the greatest music in the world. Yeah. And I'm like, got my hands like this, and I'm like, oh, shit.
Porn soundtrack.
And then he turned to me and said, "Thank God Gino didn't hear that."
Wow. But Gino may agree. You never know. Never know.
I don't think he would have.
I just want to stop.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
Will, you're great, man.
I got to meet Gino one day.
Yeah, well, next time. Well, we could have done that last time. He was just here, and
I got to meet him.
He was here in the fall, and when they come back,
I'm all in.
We spend time with them every time they come into town.
Saw him as a kid, man.
He sounds actually better today than he probably did when he's just brilliant. He's
all
brilliant.
Right, anyhow, on February 17th, if you're in the Indiana, PA. Area, come by the Indiana Theater. I'll do the show, and I will do Gino. I'll do my Gino.
What's this billboard thing, though?
I'll unbutton my shirt and get.
I could give you some of my chest hair, but Jim, I
drove
drove here today for the podcast.
I know,
and I see a giant billboard.
There are billboards
of you
around here. I don't know.
On Route 28, Etna Comedy Night. What's the date of that, Jim?
Make you drive. I don't have it yet. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I have to look at my agent. Tells me you
drive down 28.
Did you have to drive off the road and take a breath or something? So, oh my God, this is scaring me or something.
There you are. It was an omen.
Yeah, so the face go, oh my God. When you pull over, take a breath.
All right.
And we have to say Huntington Bank.
Shelley.
Thanks
for listening, Shelley. We're going to have lunch with her soon.
Yes, we
for
can't
her
wait.
birthday present with Jim Krenn.
And I thank everyone for listening out there. We really appreciate it. Will, thanks for coming out.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Will
Ashton.
Awesome. Yeah. Will Ashton. And Will, plug your podcast real quick.
Yeah. Cinemaholics. You can find it wherever you find podcasts, Apple, Spotify, where have you. So, yeah, check it out if you want.
Congratulations.
You have Jim Patulski, John Bento, myself, Jim Krenn. No restrictions.